Coach, it really felt like you guys were tested over the weekend in Iowa. What did you think about the way your team was able to come out and come out on top both times?
Yeah, they were good tests. I think we anticipated that. Two motivated home crowds, and I think it was good to experience that for our team because it's just wrestling and everything always goes your way all the time. We faced a lot of adversity, and our second half of the lineup did a really good job. I think in the first duel, Caleb Fish getting a win, and then Cam Amin getting a major, against a guy who had been to overtime early in the season, and kind of getting the ball rolling up top. And Iowa State was kind of a similar flow. So that's how dual meets go. That's what makes them exciting.
Did you think, just out of curiosity, did you think Caleb got that takedown on Sunday?
Probably don't want to say anything that gets me in trouble, but definitely thinks it was takedown. But that's you gotta you get an opportunity like that, you just gotta make sure it's very clear and obvious. You gotta solidify your takedowns. We talk about guys, and we've lost a handful of takedowns this year, just by not, and it's just probably habits of not putting a guy on their hip, not grabbing the far ankle, and it's hard in a tough match. It's hard to solidify those things, but it's a good learning lesson. Some are learning those lessons more frequently than we would like, but you just got to make sure you solidify it, make it clear and obvious.
Have you noticed an increase in reviews? Because it seems like there's more reviews each year.
I just think wrestling's really competitive, and there's so many things that go back and forth. And when you get a chance to get a second look at it, there's you're in the moment. You're like, oh, that definitely looks like a takedown, not a takedown. Sometimes you look back and be like, oh, maybe. So I think this year, as things have gone on, I've tried to look at them differently. And now I think I was trying to take a different perspective, when I'm looking at the reviews and just kind of seeing. I think in that situation where I felt like it was definitely a takedown. Well, Fish twice this weekend, once against the Northern Iowa guy and again against the Iowa State guy. I think we challenged twice there, and we lost both of those challenges, which I thought were takedowns. But you got to kind of understand like the situation of the match. I think if we don't challenge either one of those, then I think Fish still gets the takedown. There is no break in the action that favors Fish. So I think there's just things we got to kind of figure out. But in terms of more, I don't know. I don't really keep the statistics there, but probably.
I imagine you're always learning about these guys, but is there anything that you've learned about this group that this weekend and the challenges that it presented have stood out?
Yeah, I think it was good. I think it's we talk about the season just being a time to improve, right? And this weekend showed some areas that we got to still improve in, individually and as a team. But obviously there's things that we did really well. We had a conversation with the guys yesterday about it, and I think when you're an ultimate competitor, people say, oh, you lose from you win, you learn from your losses. I think you learn from your wins. You're just not satisfied. It's like you win by decision. Well, I could have won by a major. I could have secured some back points. And I think that's when you can really separate yourself as a competitor, individually, and that's only going to help your team. So I think although we won both matches this weekend, I think there's a lot to be learned there.
That mindset, that ultimate competitor mindset you're talking about, is like even when you win, you're not satisfied. Do you think that's something guys have, or is that something you can kind of teach guys?
It's an interesting question. I think some people just have never thought of it that way. Maybe they just were raised to just win matches, and that's what was preached to them, and that's what they were kind of brought up doing. And well, that's just not what we're going to do here. Our program is not a program that's just going to be okay just winning matches, and that's what I told them. Hey, if you want to just win matches, well, now it's a coin flip, and everyone's got a shot. We got to build our leads, and we got to wrestle with that mentality. So it was just okay. Well, we talk about it. This weekend was a good perspective on that. We just try to win a couple matches, and they didn't go our way. So it's a thing we can learn, and it's just constantly, I think, just a reinforcement of those things. And I think it's an area that will separate us.
You talk a lot about your wrestlers learning from each other as well as you and your staff, but Tegan had two tough matches, two sudden victory losses. That's hard. But he can look at Troy. Troy had 2 tough losses in a row, and boy, Troy turned it around this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's the middle of the season. You know, it's we're not trying to. I mean, listen, our goal is not to win every single match per se. I mean, I think that's a given. You want to win every single match, but it's just things happen. Things happen. You got to reevaluate. You got to make adjustments. You know, so I feel confident. Just like I felt confident with Troy, I feel very confident with Tegan. He's done a great job this year. He's been a really, really solid spot in our lineup, and I have zero waiver in that moving forward. You know, and it's in his control. You know, I think he's a guy that you know I feel good about moving forward. I think he needed those things, and it'll make him better.
Speaking of adjustments and changing throughout the season, I love that pound for pound poll. I think Flo does it. It's supposition because, you know, guys at heavyweight don't wrestle 125, so forth. But Dean Hamidy's not on it, and I can't see why he would not be, because right now he's got to be one of the most versatile wrestlers in the country. He changes himself within a match to win.
Yeah, I mean, we're not a fan of rankings. You know, we're not out there like, I mean, it's not, I haven't looked at those not one time. You know, DJ's focused on being the best version of himself, and he's trying to go out and dominate people, and that's what he's doing. So I don't know if the rankings reflect that. I think DJ's doing a great job, and he's got to continue doing those things.
Is he one of the most versatile guys that you can remember coaching? Because he sure seems, he'll change in the middle of a period. If he sees a wall, he'll find a way around it in the middle of the period.
Oh, he's just relentless. You know, I think he's relentless, and he's just, I mean, there's times we've seen him shoot 10 times in a row, you know, and he gets the 11th one, and that guy's kind of toast, and now he's going to ride him and turn him, or he's going to cut him, get a takedown, you know, and he's very coachable in that way, and I think that's what's been able to separate him, and that's why he's scored a lot of bonus points this year. So it's just, you know, obviously the way he's wired, very competitive, and, you know, he's pretty dynamic. He keeps guys, you know, having to react the whole time.
Coach, it really feels like any time this season when the top half of your lineup has started slow or struggled, your second half of your lineup's really been able to pick it up for you guys and kind of ease away. What can you say about the second half of your guys' lineup, the talent you guys have, and I mean, do you feel like it's among the best in the country?
I feel really confident every time we step out there. I feel confident in all 10 of our guys. You know, I think our second half of the lineup is, you know, they're veterans. They've been around. You know, they've been around the ups and the downs, and you know, they've, I think, they wrestle with a lot of clarity. You know, and I think they're a good example for our whole team. But when I step out there, you know, every dual meet, I have confidence in all 10 of our guys.
Is there a difference between wrestling to win every match and wrestling to win a championship?
I think, I mean, if you're just content to just win every single match, I don't know that you have the bigger goal in mind. Right? I think we're always trying to improve, you know. And I mean, I honestly just, even you get your hand raised as a national champion, there's not really like a, you know, you're not really probably content there. You're probably looking back and probably seeing things you probably could have done a little better, right? So I think it's just constantly trying to improve. I think that's the mentality you want to have. But yeah, I think it's just all process, you know, just helping guys understand there's something bigger that we're working for.
Whenever,
Talked a lot about attendance here and what you guys have done with some of the records that are getting broken and everything. You and I, they broke an attendance record with you guys there at Utah Valley earlier this season. How big is it for you guys to be a part of those types of events for those schools and for the sport as a whole?
Well, I just think it speaks a lot about the tradition of our program. You know, Oklahoma State's brand is a worldwide brand. It's not just like statewide, it's not nationwide, it's a worldwide brand, you know. Coach Smith was able to establish that, you know, with his success as a competitor and, you know, and as a coach, a legend, and obviously all the coaches that go before that. I mean, the tradition of our program is long-standing, and then I think you know, obviously some of the excitement that we've had this year. You know, people want to come watch our team wrestle, and it's exciting to be a part of a team that makes a difference in wrestling. You know, whether it's here or whether it's on the road. You know, it's pretty exciting for our guys to have the opportunity to go and compete in those environments all the time. You know, it's more enjoyable as a competitor for sure. You know, and we'll never go compete in probably an empty gym. You know, it's always gonna be full.
If you go back and watch the TV copy, and I don't know if you did from the Iowa State duel, the interviews that Quint did, Kesenich, with your wrestlers were about you. Did you hear what the guys said, or did that come back to you in any way? Because it was highly complimentary of how you've impacted them, not only on the mat, but off.
I haven't seen it. you know, and if that's the case, you know, it's just, you know, these guys are making an impact on us as a coaching staff, you know, and I think we're trying to just help them, you know, be the best version that they can be on and off the mat. You know, we're going to wrestle for a small portion of our life and our career, and we're going to be, you know, fathers and husbands and, you know, working in the real world, you know, down the road, you know, and I think it's just trying to make an impact on, obviously, their lives, and that's why we're here. That's what we're trying to do.
There's still a lot of season left, but this is the last one at home. Does it feel weird, especially this is your first time through with the seniors? Does it feel weird that this is their official goodbye at home this weekend?
It's gone fast. You know, it's been, I kind of joke, you know, it's like I feel like since we've been down here, you know, it's since May, I feel like we've lived like multiple lives, like lifespans, you know, it's been so many things changing and just, it's been, it's an exciting time and it's gone by very fast, you know, and that's why I just tell the seniors, you know, everybody, but I tell them specifically, hey, a piece of advice that I got one time, I was getting ready for the Olympics and I was in training and I was like, I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to wrestle. I can't wait to wrestle. And the advice that I got was like, hey, don't wish the days away, you know, enjoy this process, enjoy this moment, you know, and then I just felt like my mindset shifted and, you know, I really appreciated that time. And I think that's just what I try and share with these guys is don't wish the days away. Like these are awesome times. You're gonna look back in your life and like love this time and enjoy it. You know, so it's I think that's what we're trying to do. Just trying to stay present every day in practice, stay present every day when we're competing. And but this group has been a great group. It's part of history. You know, it's part of you know, our first season, and you know, we're just thankful to have done it with them.
Obviously, you know, you had a lot of success after, but are there, when you think back to your time in school, is there something about that is, you know, even with all the success you went on to have, that's still special to you, that you're like, oh yeah, I enjoyed that, and it's hard to have that feeling after?
Yeah, college wrestling it's the pinnacle. It's the pinnacle of our sport. You know, it's just in every way, shape, or form it is. So, yeah, I enjoyed that time, and it feels like it's a really long time ago now. You know, these guys will look back and, you know, they're going to enjoy this time as well.
Duels and tournaments are separate animals in the collegiate sport. I don't know if you did this on purpose or how much impact you had on the schedule. Your duels are kind of dwindling here before you get to tournament, almost like you'll have more time in the room to maybe flip it a little bit, or am I off base?
I mean, I think a lot of, I'm not gonna tell you our secrets, you know, but
We'd love that, but that's okay.
right. No, it's not secrets. I mean, it's just a lot of the schedule was in place, you know, for what we could schedule. We try to schedule. You got to work around your conference schedule. You got to challenge your team in different ways, and you know. But I think we are getting, you know, towards the end of the season, and you know, having some time in the room is really valuable. But a lot of our work has already been done. You know, we've done a lot of work. You know, now it's just a matter of you know, getting guys ready to go. But we still have some really tough matches, you know, coming up this weekend with Missouri. Going to Little Rock's gonna be tough. You know, and obviously finish the season at Iowa. It was gonna be good, challenging matches, and just got to stay present and make the most out of each one of them.
When the decision was made to have Fish jump down to 157, did you wonder how he was going to handle that? Because he seems to just be getting better and better. Obviously, the controversy of the Iowa State duel notwithstanding.
No, you know, he's just a guy who's so disciplined. You know, he's been disciplined from the moment he got here, and you know, he's a really enjoyable guy to coach, and you know, so when you're disciplined, you know exactly what you want. You know, it's just he's doing a great job. He's just making the most of his opportunities. So, you know, just you know, he's a fun guy to have on our team.
And then 174 doesn't sound like O'Toole's going to be back. Were you kind of hoping that Hamady could see that before I guess Big 12s and then the NCAAs?
We can't predict, you know, what's going to happen in our sport. You know, we just gotta show up and do our best, and we'll see what happens this weekend, and then we'll adjust moving forward. You know, so you know, I know DJ's excited for every time he steps on the mat, right? That's what he said. That's why he's one of the most exciting guys to watch wrestle. He's going to go out and wrestle no matter who he's got. So we'll just control what we can control.
Can you put piggybacking off what Tyler asked earlier, but can you put into words just how good this senior class has been for you guys this year?
It's been a good class. I mean, it's been they're great kids. They're great leaders. They've done a good job of just adopting the mentality that we're trying to ask them to come to practice every single day, and it's good for our younger guys to see that. You know, So it's, yeah, really proud of him.
What's it been like to I guess, what was your first impression of Dustin, and then how have you sort of gotten to know him better this year? What's it been like?
Well, I remember watching Dustin wrestle, and he just was like relentless. You know, he's just a guy. Just shot a lot. You know, and then I got a chance to spend time with him, train with him a lot this summer. You know, when I was getting ready to wrestle, and spent a lot of time with him, and just got to get to know him on and off the mat. It's just, again, another guy like, you tell him to do something one time, you never have to tell him twice. You know, and he's made a lot of adjustments in his life and his diet, his nutrition, and his mindset, and the things that he's doing. You know, and it's just that's all you can ask. You know, it's just been a blessing. You know, to obviously get the opportunity to coach him. So he's a great kid.